Okay, guys, let me take a moment to walk through the updates I have on the Charlie Kirk situation as the manhunt continues. There's a lot of new information and video surfacing, but first, we need to clear up some confusion because in moments like these, misinformation always spreads fast. It was a chaotic and tragic scene, and in the middle of that chaos, a lot of assumptions were made.
Early on, clips began circulating online of a man being arrested at the event, handcuffed, led away, shouting, "Shoot me, shoot me." Understandably, people jumped to the conclusion that this was the shooter. Even some outlets, who should have been more careful, alluded to the possibility and reported that the suspect was in custody. Those claims spread quickly, and then they were repeated everywhere. But just a few hours ago, police confirmed that this man was in fact not the shooter. We don't know yet exactly why he was detained, whether it was something he said, something he did, or simply for questioning. But what we do know is that he was not the one who pulled the trigger. And that needs to be taken seriously. There's already been talk online trying to connect him to other crimes, but in this particular case, there is no confirmed link. And spreading false accusations only adds to the damage. So let's set that aside for right now and focus on what we actually do know. We finally have some confirmed video of the shooter. In fact, we actually have 2 clips. Let's go ahead and play those now.
Get right up.
Yeah. You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying?
Huh.
He just ran from, over, where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in, and now he's right there. Just saying, just...
Guys, in this first clip, what we see is haunting. An individual is perched on top of the rooftop in the distance, dressed head to toe in black, clearly positioned in a way that no one should ever be during a peaceful gathering. It's hard to watch. Another moment where evil quite literally took the high ground, and yet no warning, no alarms, nothing stopped what was about to unfold. From that vantage point, the figure is unmistakably in a shooting position. And then, just as the clip continues, you see a small black speck, the shooter, spring up and bolt from the rooftop. That movement is chilling because it confirms exactly what eyewitnesses feared in that moment. These 2 clips now surfacing are, as of right now, the only confirmed videos that we have of the shooter. To give you more context, investigators and journalists have been pulling up satellite and aerial images of the Utah Valley University campus to identify the exact building, and all signs point to the Lossie Center at Utah Valley University. When you compare the footage side by side with images of the building, the architecture lines up almost perfectly. The stepped roof levels, the distinct side wall with its orange red brick or stone, it all matches. The building housing the UVU Career Development Center, the Women's Success Center, and the Veterans Success Center since only about 200 yards from where Charlie was positioned during the events, according to Fox News. That distance, that rooftop, that vantage point, that is where a life was stolen. And that is where this nightmare began.
I want to bring in now, this is actually, let's start with this new statement from Utah Valley University. We had a speaker, Charlie Kirk, invited by a student group, Turning Point USA, speaking on campus today at noon. At about 12:20, shots were fired from a building about 200 yards from the speaker. Now, this is new. According to the best of our knowledge, the individual was hit and was taken away immediately by his security personnel. That individual, of course, is Charlie Kirk. Campus is closed for the rest of the day, and our campus police have a suspect in custody. So that is new information. 200 from a building, 200 yards from the shooter is the newest information.
You're looking at here is sobering. This is essentially a perspective, the view from where the shooter positioned himself on the roof. Is disturbing to even imagine it. The vantage point of a murderer peering down across the campus from this position. The round that ended Charlie Kirk's life was fired. Almost immediately, speculation began. People pointed to the distance, the angle, the precision, and they started asking if this had to be a professional hit, a trained sniper, maybe even a state-level foreign operation. And I understand why those questions come up. From a distance of 200 yards, it looks deliberate, it looks calculated, but it's important not to let speculation get too far ahead of the facts. A shot like that with the right rifle, the same patience, doesn't necessarily require a Navy SEAL or CIA operative. Even someone with basic training and focus could have carried it out. That's what makes it all more chilling, the idea that it doesn't take an elite assassin to commit this kind of atrocity. But the bigger question remains, how was this allowed to happen at all? How does someone once again find their way to the rooftop at a major event, weapon visible, in position, and yet not to be stopped before pulling the trigger? It's a failure that just cuts so deep. It speaks to the dangerous reality that we live in, where public figures, especially conservatives, are increasingly treated as targets simply for speaking freely in public spaces. It's not only presidents or presidential candidates who require security sweeps and protective details anymore. This tragedy lays bare the truth that anyone who dares step into the public square with the conservative message is at risk. Adding to the weight of all of this is the fact that the shooter didn't just take the shot. He somehow managed to climb down from the building and escape. As of now, the suspect is still at large. That thought alone is hard to grasp. The man dressed all in black, moving across campus rooftops, carrying out an assassination, and then just vanishing. We have to believe that with all the cameras across campus and the number of witnesses present, his identity and movements will soon be known. Now law enforcement is fully engaged. The FBI mobilized quickly. Police were already on site. Civilian footage is emerging that shows the manhunt in progress. And voices like Kash Patel were raising alarms within minutes. But until the suspect is apprehended, there's an open wound. Not only from the life taken, but from the deep unease of knowing this person is still out there.
There are about 6 armed men in the backyard of a home right next to UVU campus. Apparently they are looking for another suspect. Maybe another suspect has not.
Okay, so the video that we are seeing now shows heavily armed officers moving through the quiet suburban neighborhood not far from the university, sweeping the area and even searching through the nearby woods. This is not a small response. This is a full-scale manhunt. The FBI is involved at every single level, and law enforcement is throwing everything that they have into finding this person. At the same time, attention is turned online. One account in particular has raised serious concerns. An ex-profile under the name Omar with the handle Naragalvs. I'm probably butchering that, but they posted something extremely chilling just a day before the shooting, and the post read, "I really hope someone evaporates him literally," followed by a, "let's just say something big will happen tomorrow." Those are not empty words. Whether this account belongs to the shooter or to someone close to him or simply to someone who knew that this was coming, we just can't say. But the timing is impossible to ignore, and you can be sure that the FBI is already digging into it. All of this underscores the gravity of what has happened. This isn't just another news story. This is one of the darkest moments in recent American history. A political assassination carried out in broad daylight against a man who was simply exercising his right to speak. It is an act of terror, an act that cannot go unanswered.
My hope, my faith, is that this individual will not escape justice. There must be no possibility that he simply walks away from this. Every resource, every lead, every ounce of effort must go and bring him into custody. The pain of this loss is immeasurable, but the least that could be done now is to ensure that the one who carried it out is found to be held to account. All right, guys, these are the updates that we have for now. The story is moving very quickly. More details will come, but tonight we sit with the grief of a life taken and the weight of knowing that free speech in this country has once again come under fire. It is a dark day. We'll see you guys later.